It's Thursday, third and fourth graders. How are you all? I hope everyone is doing well and staying healthy. Let's see, I'm trying to share my screen. Okay. Today might be review for some of you. Today might be completely new for some of you, but I'm sure that all of you have heard about at least one thing that I'm going to talk about today. So our focus today are going to be text features. Text features are only in nonfiction books, so we're going to be using only nonfiction books. And again, nonfiction means that they are real. They give us real information, real pictures. It does not have fake characters and fake information. So we're going to be working with real informational text. Our target today is I can identify text features and explain how they are helpful. So not only will you be able to identify what the text feature is, but you'll be able to explain why they are helpful, because each text feature serves a purpose. We're going to learn about that purpose today. So very quickly, text features are elements found in a nonfiction book. Like I said, they help by giving us more information. So the text features are there for a reason. They're really important. It's important that we look at all of the text features because it gives us a lot of good information. They draw attention to important details. So some of us have learned about text features, some of us haven't. If you have, right now, I'm going to give you about 10 seconds. I want you to either turn to someone you're sitting with or maybe talk to yourself and just name a few text features before we start. So what are some text features you've learned about? And if you haven't learned about text features or you aren't sure, what do you think is one text feature? I already told you that it has to do with nonfiction text and real information. So just take a guess. What do you think text features might be? Go ahead, I'll give you 10 seconds. Okay, so let's dive right in and check out some of these text features. I'll give you some examples. Bear with me, I have to switch my screens. Hold on. Yay, here we go. Ms. Koteri is really learning how to do this technology stuff. Okay, bear with me. So, what are nonfiction text features? This right here is a video. I'm not going to play it right now. I'm going to post it on the Google Forms. So after you watch this video of me teaching, you're going to go to this video and watch a little clip about nonfiction. All right. So this is a really cool little PowerPoint that's a little interactive, and you can click on each of these sections and it'll bring you to a new section. So we're going to go to types of chart. So there are three main types of charts found in nonfiction text. One, over here, we have fact boxes. Fact boxes are exactly what they sound like. They're a little box and they have a fact inside. It gives us extra information that is not included in the main text. So you might be reading about sea turtles here, but over here, it's just going to give you a little fact, real information. These are really important because it gives you that information that you might need. Maybe it asks later on if you take a test and there's a question about what's in this text box, this fact box. Well, it's going to be really important that you read that fact box. Over here we have graphs. These might look familiar, like in math class when we did bar graphs and line plots and all of that fun stuff. This shows comparisons or relationships between two or more things. So again, this one is showing people's favorite snacks. So it's giving us information, organized data, like we talked about in math class. The pie chart and maybe a line graph. So these graphs give you a lot of good information. And then over here, we have diagrams. Diagrams show steps or process in a simple drawing. So if we think back to science class, when we learned about the life cycle of a butterfly, this diagram gives us a really good understanding of how it works. So they start as an egg, and then a caterpillar, and then a chrysalis, and then a butterfly, and then it starts all over again, right? This is called a diagram. It helps paint a picture for us so we can understand what's going on. So charts give us a better visual of what the author is talking about. So I don't know about you, but I think it makes a lot more sense to me when I see these different charts. It helps me kind of visualize what's going on rather than just reading words on a page. It's a little bit more interactive, I think. Gives you a good visual representation of what they're talking about. All right, now we're going to go to text features outside the text body. So there are 3 main types of text features found outside the text body. I'm pretty sure that all of you have heard of the table of contents. This is a list of parts of the book in the order that they appear in the text. So over here is an example of table of contents. So say you're reading a really big book, and maybe you want to find out information all about sea turtle babies. Well, if you go to the table of contents here, oh baby might have something to do with babies, right? So then you can skip right to page 16. That's why the table of contents is really helpful, because it tells you what's in the book and where you can find it. So maybe you want to learn about where sea turtles or what they eat. Well, if you go to the table of contents, nothing here seems like it talks about what they eat. So maybe this book doesn't include what they eat, right? So maybe you need to go find another book. That's why this table of contents is important. The index down here, it's an alphabetical list of topics included in the book, along with the page number that the topic can be found on. So if you pick up a book and you want to learn about a specific topic, you would go to the index and see if it's listed. If it's not listed, well, then that topic is probably not in the book. If it is listed, then it'll give you the page number so you can skip right to that page, and it helps you navigate through the text. The glossary is going to be really important for you guys. The glossary is an alphabetical list of important vocabulary words found in the book along with their definitions. So we talked about one of our words of the week was define, right? So the glossary gives us definitions, or it defines tricky words. So if you're reading through a book and you see a really big word, maybe the word is even bolded, and you're like, I wonder what that word is. You can go right to the glossary, which is usually in the back of the book, and you can find the definition. And then once you find the definition, it'll make so much more sense, right? If you're reading along and you have a big word that you don't know and you just skip over it, well, chances are you missed a really important piece of information right there. So if you just take a second to flip to the glossary and see if it's back there, and then read the definition, it will help you comprehend the book a lot easier. Again, but there might be some tricky words that you don't know when you go to the glossary and they're not in there, which kind of stinks, but sometimes not all the words are in there. Okay? Which in that case, if you find a word that you don't know and it's not in the glossary, just Google it. You guys all have technology at your fingertips. All right, so this is table of contents, index, glossary. Those are 3 different text features. Now these ones you've probably seen before, and I'm sure you know the name of them. These are pictures and picture features. These are another type of text feature. So this is a photograph. All of you should know what a photograph is. It's real pictures taken by a camera, right? A real picture. Labels are super, super, super important. This label describe a photograph on or illustration. So, for example, it'll point to something on the picture or the photograph, and it'll tell you all about it. It labels pieces of the picture. And that's important because it tells you important information. Like, for example, this sea turtle, these little things, these little labels are telling you important information about this sea turtle that you wouldn't otherwise know unless you read these labels, right? This one down here says their large, powerful flippers act like paddles. So now we know that these flippers help push them along. This one says sea turtles can't pull their heads and limbs into their shells like land turtles can. See, that's very interesting. You would think, oh, turtle can go inside its shell. Well, I just read that label and now I know that sea turtles cannot do that. Okay, labels are important, read them. Illustrations, these are pictures that have been drawn by an illustrator. So like in your fiction books, you'll see a lot of illustrations, a lot of pictures that are drawn by someone. So this is kind of like a photograph. It gives you good information, but it's not a real photo. Like this is not a real photo of the Earth and the sun, right? Someone drew this, but it still gives you really good information. Then we have maps. You guys all know what a map is, but maps are important because usually it'll talk about something and then put a map in here, and a map will give you some more information about whatever the text is talking about. So for example, right here, this says, sea turtles travel the world in warm ocean waters. They are one of the few reptiles that live in the sea. And then it gives a map. And then this brings me to my next important text feature, captions. Captions are words or phrases that help the reader to identify parts of a photograph or illustration. Captions are found at the bottom of a picture or a map or something. Captions are so important because if you don't read them, you might not know what the picture or the map is about. So if I just look at this map, I don't know, it's just a map. I don't know what it's showing me. But as soon as I read this caption, it says the dark blue area shows where sea turtles travel. Oh, okay, that makes so much more sense, right? So now I know everywhere that's dark blue, there's sea turtles. That's where they live. If I didn't read that caption, I would have no idea what that meant or what this was showing. I would just think it was a map, right? So it's important, so important that you read the captions. Don't skip over them. Okay? These ones are quick. Another text feature, we have italics. You guys have seen this before. This is when they're slightly slanted words. Like right here, if you see this word, it's slanted. That means it's in italics. You have all seen bold words. That's when they have a heavy dark text or they're really black. You have forests is really bolded. Usually when words are in italics or bolded, it means that it's an important word. Okay, here's another bold word, tropical rainforest. And then underlined words. Super simple, it's just when a word is underlined. Usually when a word is underlined, that's trying to tell you that it's important to the text. So this says 8 species of bear roam the world today, right? So species must be a really important word and have something to do with what this author is talking about. Italics, bold, underlined words. Titles are another text feature. Super easy. You guys have all seen a title of a article. For example, this is bears, right? That's the title of this book. It tells the main topic of the text. So I'm gonna guess that this book's gonna be all about, you guessed it, bears. Headings announce what information will be discussed in a specific section of the text. So you flip open a book and you see a heading at the top. Canine 101. Well, that's going to tell you what this whole section is about. I'm going to have to guess. Well, canine means dog. So this whole section is going to be about something about a dog. Okay? Subheadings are little tiny headings that come after the big heading. You have heading and then a little subheading. This is going to tell you, it announces what information will be discussed within a heading section. So you might have this whole section is about dogs, but then you might have subheadings within that heading. It's all about dogs, but in this little section, it's going to say, what is a dog? And maybe on the next page, just have a subheading of where do the dogs live and what do the dogs eat, right? So this kind of just tells you what these sections are going to be about. Authors make it easy for us to predict what will be in different parts of the book by providing titles, headings, and subheadings. So all of these titles, headings, and subheadings are going to help us determine what's going to be in the book or what's going to be in each section. Okay? All right, that was a lot of information, I know, but you guys can go back. You guys can go back to this video and look at it. Hold on, bear with me. I just wanted to show you really quickly. Here we go. This is a book about the Titanic. Okay, I'm just going to flip through some of these pages, and I want to show you how nonfiction text features are all over the place in these nonfiction books. So this is all about the Titanic. The Titanic was a big ship that sunk, hit an iceberg and sunk a long time ago. I'm not going to read the book. I'm just going to flip through. So here's first nonfiction text feature, a table of contents. It's got all the different parts of the book and what's in what we can find in this book. Flip. Ooh, this says an illustration of Titanic shipwreck, 1985. So I read this caption, and now I know what this illustration is. It's the shipwreck. This is the Titanic that sunk. Okay, look at, we have an italicized word right here, Titanic. Must be an important word. We have a photograph. This is a real photo, text feature. Well, if we want to know what's going on in this photo, we're going to read the caption, and it tells us what's happening in that photo. Here's another photo. Here is a little maybe fact box. Here's an illustration, and it tells us, caption says the grand staircase, so this must have been the grand staircase. Here we have some pictures. First class bedroom, ship's gym, first class cafe. So it's labeling these pictures to tell us what it's about. Oh, look at a fact box, important information. The Wonder Ship, this is our heading. It's going to tell us all about what this section is about. Anybody know what these are? What are these? Things that are pointing to specific things in a photograph and labeling parts of the ship. So these are all labels. Okay. Look through. Another heading, some pictures. I see some italicized words. I see a caption. So these nonfiction text features are all over. So your goal, I want you guys, when you're doing your 20 minutes of reading, I want you guys to pick a nonfiction textbook, nonfiction book, not textbook, nonfiction book, and try to find these nonfiction text features. I'm curious to see how many you can find. How many can you point out? What are the text features showing you? Why are they important? What information are you learning from each text feature? Okay. So let me get out of here. Okay, so hopefully you guys are able to identify a text feature and explain how they're helpful. So again, be looking for these text features. Tell me what information you're finding or learning. What information are you learning from each text feature? Today, you guys are going to have a Google form. After you watch this lesson, you're going to go watch the little text feature lesson or text feature YouTube clip, and then complete the Google form. That's all you got for today. Okay, as always, comment on Google Classroom if you have any questions. Me and Mr. Cortina are available to Zoom if you need help, if you're confused. It's pretty straightforward. Trying to make it easy for you guys. Enjoy your Thursday. Be smart. Stay safe. We miss you, and we will see you next time.